Hello students, welcome back to your own digital learning station, Prudence Coaching English class. Today we are going to learn about the poem My Shadow by Robert Louis Stevenson. This poet, Robert Louis Stevenson, was born in Scotland as Robert Louis Balfour Stevenson. He was a Scottish novelist, essayist, poet, and travel writer, and this poet is best known for his works such as Treasure Island, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Kidnapped, and A Child's Garden of Verses. So let's start the fully animated explanation with word notes and summary. Here is the first stanza. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me from the heels up to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. In this poem, the narrator is a little boy who is very good in observing things. He observed that he is always followed by his own shadow. Wherever he goes, his shadow always follows him. He knows everything about his shadow. The poet here also tells that the narrator is fascinated by his own shadow and its uses. The shadow's appearance is just like the narrator, from his toe to head. The narrator observed that his shadow goes to bed before him. He is fascinated by the shadow and is very curious to know more about him. Here in this stanza, the poet actually tells about the innocence and naivety of the little boys and girls. They are very innocent and always try to know about new things. The feeling of this shadow just excites this little narrator. Now the second stanza. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow. Not at all like proper children, which is always very slow, for he sometimes shoots up taller like an India rubber ball, and he sometimes gets so little that there is none of him at all. In this stanza, the narrator is curious to observe how the shadow keeps changing its shape constantly. The narrator finds it very funny and amazing. It likes the way the shadow grows constantly. The narrator compares his own shadow with the growth of the normal children. The children grows at a normal space of time, whether the growth of the shadow is very much irregular. Sometimes the shadow becomes very tall and large like the India rubber ball, and sometimes it becomes so little that there is no comparison of that object at all. Third stanza. He hasn't got a notion of how children ought to play, and can only make a fool of me in every sort of way. He stays so close beside me, he is a coward you can see. I would think same to stick to nursery as that shadow sticks to me. Here, notion means idea and nursery means a childish form of addressing a nurse. The narrator finds himself a bit suspicious about the shadow. The innocent narrator considers the shadow a person and thinks that the shadow is playing some kinds of tricks with him. The shadow does not have any sense when the children are supposed to play. He tries to befool the narrator in every sort of way. He always tries to stick to the narrator. The boy even assumes that because the shadow is a coward, it does not leave him ever. Moreover, because the shadow stays behind and always follows him, this strengthens his assumption too. In this stanza, the narrator is found to be a conscious child who does not want to ask for help from the nurse forever. Fourth stanza. One morning, very early, before the sun was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup. But my lazy little shadow, like an errant sleepyhead, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. Here, buttercup means a herbaceous plant with bright yellow cup-shaped flowers. Now, the next word is errant. Errant means complete or utter. In the concluding stanza, the narrator finally exclaims that one day when he woke up very early in the morning before the sunrise, he found morning dew on the petals of the buttercup flowers. As the sun is on the horizon, there is not much light around the boy. Thus, the shadow is not present. Being the naive child that he is, the boy is excited as the shadow did not follow him for the first time. He assumes that the shadow is so lazy that it did not get up in the morning and is still sleeping completely in his bed. He thinks so because the shadow always jumps up into the bed just before him. Thus, here in this poem, the poet actually exclaims the innocence and naivety of the little children. Now we'll discuss the summary of the poem. The poem describes the excitement of a child who is innocently fascinated by his own shadow. This poem is written from a child's perspective who finds pleasure in the company of his own shadow which follows him everywhere. It sticks close to him when he is playing, so much it is embarrassing for them both. He also has the strange ability to shrink and grow quickly, not at all like a normal boy. He is embarrassed by the shadow's needy behavior and its seeming inability to leave his side. The strange child is always there, acting like a coward. One morning he got up before the sunrise. The child was awake so early that he could see the shining dew on every buttercup. Rather than accompanying him on his early morning journey, the shadow remains in bed like an errant sleepyhead. Dear students, if you have enjoyed throughout the session, don't forget to subscribe, share and like with your friends. Your little motivation will help us to provide you more helpful contents. You can get the playlist from the link given in the description box. To join us on Facebook, Telegram and Instagram, just follow the description box. To clear your doubts and communicate with our expert faculties directly, join the Telegram group and upload the PDF. Thanks for watching, students. Have a nice day to all of you. Goodbye.